to take a little break to feed the baby. My little guy is almost 10 weeks old, which is just literal insanity. I don't know how it goes so incredibly fast, but we're almost 10 weeks old, and Dad is going back to work on Monday. He was supposed to have 13 weeks off. He had 12 weeks of paid leave through the state, and then he had a week of PTO that he took the first week. But things are so expensive. We have to send him back early because we just can't swing it. And obviously it's more important for me to be home than it is for him to be home. So we're sending him back to work on Monday. It's very sad. Having time together as a family is so nice, but not when you're worrying about how you're going to pay for things. I wish things were better for families, but I'm very grateful that we had the time that we did have. I know a lot of places don't even get any paid leave, which is just crazy in my opinion. I mean, I'm pretty sure in everybody's opinion, it's pretty obvious that having paid leave is super important when you have a baby. Where are you guys joining us from? I see somebody is from the Netherlands. I don't know if they're still hanging out. If you're here joining us, where are you from and what are you up to today? We're sick currently. It started with my son and then hit me and my husband. Thankfully, the baby has not gotten it yet. I'm hoping it stays that way, but there's not much you can do. I'm washing my hands a lot and trying not to breathe on his face, but you know, he's attached to me 24/7. So hopefully breast milk does its thing and keeps him healthy, all those antibodies. So if I'm sniffly, I apologize. I know that's pretty annoying, but trying to get on here and chat with you guys frequently as I can. There's not a lot of free time as a mom, especially with a newborn and a toddler. Pretty much takes up all of my attention. That's why you're joining me to clean today, because I can't be sitting and not doing something. I need to be productive at all times, pretty much, even when I'm sick. I do preach that other people take better care of themselves, but you know, the show must go on. My last sip of coffee. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't had any since I found out I was pregnant with my first son, so like 3 years ago. I think like almost 3.5. Yeah, it was May 2022. So almost 3.5 years since I had any alcohol. But coffee is definitely the thing that is a struggle for me when I am pregnant and breastfeeding. And I have been pregnant or breastfeeding for 3.5 years now. So I cherish my coffee that I do get, but I definitely wish there were no restrictions on that. Yes, the show must go on. Do you have kids also? Where are you joining us from? Last sip of coffee. So sad. Gotta move on to water and start hydrating here. Try to feel better. My throat has been feeling like razor blades. I'm not sure what we got, if it's just a cold or something else, but it's not pleasant. My son had a fever the first night, and then he was pretty warm the second night, but he bounces back pretty quick. Tel Aviv, awesome. I was supposed to go there once, but I booked the trip right before COVID, and don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. I know there's like all these weird restrictions about that stuff. But anyways, it was during that time and I ended up having to cancel the trip. I had to cancel like 6 big trips that I was planning for that year, and I never got to go back to any of the places because then I got pregnant. I did, the one trip that I did reschedule was Costa Rica, and that was super amazing. And that's actually, I found out I was pregnant with my first the day after I got back. So that was my last big trip. Thank you all for hanging out. If you're joining us, let me know where you are from. I'm just taking a little break from cleaning to feed my baby. Looks like he's about to fall asleep. Hopefully I can finish putting my laundry away. I can't stand to have it piling up, but it's just like I can get to washing it and keeping up with that part, but then the kids distract me and I end up having it sit around for quite a while. And then I usually have one day where I go and I fold and put away everything, but I prefer not to do that. I don't like when everything gets all wrinkly. I am in Connecticut, United States, on the East Coast. So if this is your first time here, yes, USA. If this is your first time here, this channel is a motherhood account. I do mostly educational and informational stuff regarding pregnancy, labor, birth, postpartum, breastfeeding. I am a doula and maternity nurse and lactation consultant by training, and I also have 2 babies myself. I have a 2.5, he's gonna be 3 in January, and then a 10-week-old almost. So I sprinkle in some of my personal experience as well, but a lot of it is from my professional experience. Thank you. I have been trying to put out more content while I'm on maternity leave. I would really love to get this channel monetized. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit those notifications so you can check out everything that comes out. I'm doing a series on 30 days to a better birth. Currently, we're on the next video will be day 13, so there's a playlist with all the other videos. And I have a few filmed that I have to edit and get out, and then I'm going to be filming the rest of them soon, and then we're going to be sprinkling some breastfeeding and more like mom content in there. I have plans to do more like breastfeeding basics videos and also more like pumping videos, pumping tips, how to use your pumps, how to increase your milk output. And then I have some like traveling with toddlers, traveling with babies content, some nesting vlogs. What else? Some postpartum freezer meal prep for when I was pregnant. And then I have a bunch of like product reviews coming as well. So I'm going to talk about all of my favorites for the newborn period. Also kind of doing like a recap of our experience so far, like postpartum and newborn experience. But if you have any content requests, I am always open to suggestions and would love to hear your feedback. I really want this to be a place that you can learn and feel more empowered and educated about your motherhood journey. So any topics at all that you are interested in learning more about, please let me know. I can't wait to feel better. Every time I'm sick, I'm just like, oh, it's so nice to feel normal. Why do I take it for granted? Awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means so much to me. I am going back to work October 5th. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I love what I do working as a lactation consultant. I have two per diem lactation consultant jobs in the hospital, and then I have a private practice that I do lactation work and also doula work. So I work with parents in the community, helping them with newborn care, house stuff, education, helping to take care of mom in that postpartum period, cooking, cleaning, all that kind of stuff. So that's mostly what I'm doing, kind of taking a break from the more like traditional nursing jobs, just because it's hard to fit it with my husband's schedule. He is part of the Coast Guard Reserves also, so he does work some weekends, so weekends aren't even always an option. And then since I am breastfeeding, it just makes more sense for me to be with the babies at night to do the wake ups, because it's really hard, obviously, for people to function after they're up all night with babies and then go to work all day. So we choose not to have me work at night. So really, we have to be pretty flexible. So having my own business and then doing the per diem lactation work is what works for us currently. However, with the limited schedule, we're trying to find new creative ways to make extra income as things are getting more and more expensive and we're getting less and less time. It's definitely interesting. That's like been our biggest struggle since having kids, is figuring out how to work and make money while still being present with our kids, because we choose not to put them in daycare, because daycare is so ridiculously expensive and also very germy, and we get sick enough even without having our kids in daycare. I can't do any more than we already do. We're very lucky to not have to do daycare, but it makes things incredibly challenging. And sometimes I wonder why I make things even more complicated than it has to be. But it is important to me in those early years to have family with them. So when my husband and I are both working, we have my in laws, my dad, and my sister that help us with childcare, which has been a huge blessing. And we're lucky to be close to family and have people that are willing to help us. All of them work full time. So it's another full time job to try to make the schedule accommodate everybody. And sometimes we have to have like two different childcare options for one day because like shifts are long and it's a lot for people. And now with two kids, we're really trying to not have other people watch them for any prolonged period, because it's just a lot with a toddler that doesn't nap and a baby that needs bottles frequently. So trying to figure that out. So I'm really trying to get this channel monetized. I know that it's still a lot of work and it's not guaranteed that you're even going to make anything. And if you do, it's a small amount in the beginning. But it's always been a goal of mine to have a YouTube channel to help share my knowledge with more people, because there's only so many people I can work with in person as a doula and a lactation consultant. And I really want everyone to have access to that information because it's so important for helping families thrive in that postpartum journey. But yeah, it's a really big goal of mine to get this channel monetized. I know not many channels do. I read a statistic, I can't remember the percentage, but it was like less than 5% of YouTube channels get monetized. And I'm a very competitive person with like goals. And once I get my mind set on something, I have to do it. So now it's a challenge that I just cannot put aside. So we are going to do it. We're going to get this channel monetized. If you are interested in this type of content, the motherhood, pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, mom hacks, all that kind of stuff, definitely go check out my channels. I have some playlists that you can check out. I would really appreciate your support, helping me reach those watch hour requirements. And I think I have like 513 subscribers currently, but I think the watch hours are going to be what is the challenging part. I did have one video almost a year ago. I think it was like September 25th, so I'm about to start losing those hours, which is unfortunate, but I had one video on breastfeeding go not viral, but for my channel standards. Um, and I'm really trying to not lose those hours so I can use them towards monetization. But yeah, lots of new content coming out soon. Trying to do shorts every day, multiple times a day if possible, and then trying to post one long form video a day or every few days as I'm able to. It's just challenging to do the editing because I'm trying to be present with the kids during the day. And then at night, I do quite a bit of editing, but with a new baby, you never know when they're going to wake up. So I'm trying to take care of myself and sleep when I can as well. So I can't do what I would normally do and go full force. When I was in nursing school, I would just like stay up all night studying. But with babies, you do have to find sleep where you can. If you're joining us, where are you joining us from? I know this is supposed to be a cleaning live, and I was doing that. I was putting away all of my backed up laundry from a few days of being sick. But now I'm just taking a little break to feed the baby. I plan to do more lives coming up about my newborn favorites. I'm going to show you my postpartum cart. I'm going to show you my baby wraps and carrier collection. I had a few other ideas, but those lives are going to be coming soon whenever the kids are occupied and I have a chance to jump on. But I do like to do these more stripped down lives so I can just connect with you guys. I just got a comment asking what my baby girl's name is. I actually have 2 boys. I don't share their names online just to protect their privacy, but I do have 2 boys. Seeing if baby's gonna sleep so I can finish cleaning. It's literally never ending stuff to do when you have kids. Like, I used to not enjoy cleaning. Like, on my days off, I'd be like, ugh, I have to clean. But now I wish that I could clean and have it stay clean for more than a few minutes. I do generally pick up the house like after my kids go to bed. So it'll stay clean like overnight when I'm not awake to enjoy it. But as soon as everybody wakes up, it's disasterized again. I find that using baskets is really helpful for toddler stuff and baby stuff because you can kind of just like throw everything in there. Helps keep things a little bit more organized. And I try to keep up with the laundry and dishes throughout the day so it doesn't get backed up. And I try to pick up after we do every activity because my toddler goes from one activity to the next. Also, getting out of the house is super helpful so you don't just stay there and destroy it all day long. But as we're coming up on these colder months, it's a little bit more challenging. We do spend a lot of time outside. I kind of am not a fun mom in the way that I don't like to do a lot of like indoor kid places because of illness. And I know I need to probably get over that, but it's just like so miserable for everybody to be sick. And I hate watching them struggle through illness. So we do plenty of like community activities. But I'm pretty selective about what type of places we go to. So winter is a little more challenging to get out of the house. We do still get outside and do hikes and play in the snow and sled and see family and all of that, but I don't do a lot of like children's museums or anything like that, although there is a really fun one near us, so I should bring my toddler to that. But I just know I just know how germy it is. There was like a hand, foot, and mouth outbreak in Connecticut this summer. My son ended up getting that, and he was sick with that when I went into labor. And I was very concerned about my newborn getting it, especially when learning how to breastfeed. Um, that would have been pretty miserable, but thankfully my newborn didn't get it. It's amazing, like their immune systems are so immature, but I swear in the beginning they usually stay pretty healthy. Really trying to get the house in order as best as I can before my husband goes back to work on Monday. Definitely trying to get the laundry caught up on. Um, just doing some like organizing that we've been meaning to do our whole leave, and it's just so busy to entertain a toddler and have a newborn that depends on you 24/7. Um, I worked up until I went into labor and didn't get to do a lot of that like deeper nesting that I was hoping to do because I had like 3 shifts left, I think, when I went into labor. So I never got to do a lot of the nesting that I was hoping to do. So I was planning to do that on leave with my husband home, but it's been very busy. And postpartum healing is no joke. It takes me a good like 3 weeks to even feel capable of doing most things. And then after that, you're still not fully yourself. Like you still have to take it pretty easy. So I'm now at a point where I feel pretty good postpartum, more like myself for sure. But then you add in the aspect of taking care of the kiddos, and there's not much free time. Well, guys, still eating. And of course, I have to go to the bathroom because that's always what happens when the baby's falling asleep in content. Then I'll be nap trapped. What's your least favorite house activity? I would love to know. My least favorite is mopping. I don't know what it is. I just have like an aversion to mopping, and I haven't found like a good setup. I feel like the bucket is just really messy and kind of like clunky to bring around the house. And then I have a steam mop, but I feel like it doesn't like get deep down in there. I feel like the bucket is better for like a deep clean. The steam mop is good for like sanitizing the surface. But I feel like you need to do like that deeper mop every once in a while. And I don't like the Swiffers because I don't like the chemicals. We don't do any like harsh chemicals in our house. We try to be pretty like non-toxic focused. Which I think like the Swiffer would be a really nice option for someone who hates to mop, but very difficult, and I don't like to compromise on those things. So let me know, what's your least favorite chore? I used to hate vacuuming, but now we have a cordless vacuum. It's super nice. It's like one of my favorite household items. So now I love vacuuming because it's so simple and quick with the cordless vacuum. Probably gonna hop off here because I have to go to the bathroom and the baby's falling asleep. So I'm gonna see if I can transfer him, and then maybe I'll hop back on when I do that and can finish cleaning up. Let's see. Still like learning all of the settings. Green screen. Oh, you can put like your own pictures there. Cool. I'll stay on for a few more minutes while he's falling asleep, and then I'll hop off for now and come back on once I'm able to clean again. Where are you joining from if you're just joining in? Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? Ours are literally just resting and recovering to try to heal from whatever illness we have and praying that our baby boy doesn't get sick. Be really horrible timing for my husband to go back to work and for me to have a sick baby and a toddler to occupy. And of course, my toddler is feeling better, so now that I'm low energy, he's like ramping up. So that's always challenging to be feeling horrible and have high energy kids that want to do all the things. I don't like to do a lot of TV time because my son gets like addicted to it very quickly. So I try to limit it when I can, although we aren't like anti-screen time. We just try to be mindful of it. Well, guys finally finished eating, and he looks like he might sleep, hopefully. His eyes shot open. Hey, buddy. Hi. Probably needs a good burp. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I will catch you soon. I'll probably hop back on once I'm able to clean again so you guys can see the full transformation. I don't want to leave you hanging. Have a good one.